Attention, please. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you. So for you to have a great year, a better year in 2024, you really don't need a better job. You don't need a better country. You don't need a better government. You don't need a better, a better season, you don't need anything extra. The only thing you need is a better you. So today we are going to be discussing the 5 principles that I've learned from this video that I'm going to share with you. And we are going to learn the things that you actually need to improve yourself, because it's only when you improve yourself that you're going to have a better year, basically. If you can't improve yourself in these 5 principles that I'm going to share with you, then it will be very, very difficult for you to be able to have a good year, a different year, a better year than this year has been. So it's always upon your own improvement that you're going to do to be able to have a different year. So today we are going to do that. I've started off like 10 minutes earlier because I want guys to join. So as you join, just make sure that you're telling us where you are joining from. So tell us where you're joining from. Let me just share that. So tell me where you're watching from, and we can get started from there. And if you are live on this, live, make sure that you're sharing others, whether you're on Facebook, whether you're on YouTube, make sure that you are sharing this live with your friends. Send them the link on WhatsApp, and let's get more people on this live. Yeah. So go ahead and do that. Make sure that we are having more people coming on board. The aim of these videos that I do, these lives that I do, and as I always say, is basically for me to go back to, the point where the change happened, where the shift happened in my own mentality. I want to go back there to analyze it to see what has happened and to see after applying, not 100% application, but after applying these principles that I've learned so far, how different has my life been and why, And some of the things that you're going to be learning are very, very important. They are things that you do each and every day, but it doesn't click. It doesn't seem like it's something that is affecting you, that is affecting the way you can change your life, or the way you can actually be better at what you do. So we are going to share that. Make sure that you are telling me where you are watching from. Let me know where you're watching from. Also share this live. So make sure that you're sharing this live with your friends. And that's what I want. And let's get this. Let's get more people on this live, so that we can share these moments. Now, because it's coming to the end year, I know so many people. So many people are taking stock of the year. They're trying to see what different they can do next year, or they are setting up goals. And probably there are those people. Majority of the people who set up goals end up not achieving them by the end of the year, but it's because of certain things. Maybe life happened and things like that. There are so many other things that you can blame. But with these 5 principles that I'm going to share with you, you will start realizing where the problem is. You'll start seeing what you can do different to ensure that you're actually, what can we say? You're actually achieving the things that you set yourself to do. So let's get on it. Let's be, as you watch this clip that I'm going to share, make sure that you're, think about the things that we will learn. Take notes. Last time we said taking notes is one of the ways that you actually change your life, is by taking notes. Take notes, take good notes. Understand what's happening, learn from the things that are happening around you. Don't be a victim, because these days people really want to be victims, and you can see how people are, like praising and glorifying victimhood, and that's even the type of things that people want to see. Mostly they want to see people complaining. They want to see people blaming this, blaming that for the things that have happened in your life. But I'm not about that, Here I'm about taking, ruthless, extreme. You take extreme responsibility of your life, like, it's me. If something bad is happening, it's you. If you're not where you're supposed to be, it's you, not anybody else, it's you. And today we are going to learn how you actually start taking actions, how you start changing yourself so that you can actually achieve or have the life that you want. So let me know where you are watching from. Let me know who you are, and where you are, whether you have achieved your goals or not. We have like 3 minutes before we go live. So this is how this live is going to be, and the way I'm doing these lives. Basically, this is a series that I'm doing with called Learn with Sam, and the reason is because I want us to learn together. I want us to start 2024 together. We set our goals together. We set the things we want to do together. And I believe the principles that we are going to learn today are the basis of your success going forward. They will be the basis. They will be the key that unlocks your greatness, whether it's in business, whether you are at whichever level, whichever level of greatness you are at. By taking the principles that I'm going to share with you today, you'll be able to achieve even more, because there is no limit to your greatness. There is no limit to how much you can earn. from your business. There's no limit to how good you can be, there's no limit. But we want to also give ourselves a floor, what is the minimum that you can actually go. You want to give yourself and say, I can't go beyond this much. I need to be earning this much. I need to have this much. But in terms of the ceiling, there is no ceiling. The sky is the limit, or the sky is just the starting point. Whichever philosophy that you use, we are going to discuss that. And one of the major things that we are going to look at is the philosophies that people have. The philosophies that have shaped your life up to this point, the philosophies, the activities. We're going to look at the attitude. We're going to look at, the aspects of life that actually affect us. So I'm going to start off by sharing a video from Jim Rohn. This is part of a 4-hour training that is on YouTube that Jim Rohn did. And I think this is the video that really changed my life about 9 years ago. When I heard it for the first time, I said, I need to do the stuff that, I'm saying I'm going to do, because previously or before that time, I had read a lot of books. I have listened to a lot of videos. I had gone to so many seminars and things like that. But really the problem was I could not get the results I want, because I was just gathering knowledge. And as I said last time, there is no power in knowledge. Knowledge only has potential power. If you want to really be powerful, you need to put your knowledge into action. You need to put your wisdom into activity. You need to start doing something. And that's what we are going to be discussing today. So what I want to do is to share with you a video from Jim Rohn. Watch the whole clip, and then I'm going to go through the main points that I got from that video, and then we can discuss it for the next probably 1 hour or 1.5 hours. So watch this clip.
Personal opinion is the major determining factor in how your life works out. To form our philosophy, you got to think, you got to use your mind, you got to process ideas. And this whole process over a lifetime, starting way back here when we were children, schools that we've attended, our parents, our experiences, all this stuff that we've processed by the thinking process helps to develop our philosophy. And in my opinion, each person's personal philosophy is the major factor in how your life works out. Here's what's exciting about each person's personal philosophy. That's what makes us different than dogs and animals and birds and cats and spiders and alligators. That's what makes us different than all of the life forms. The ability to think, the ability to use your mind, the ability to process ideas, and not just operate by instinct. Philosophy helps us to process what's available. Well, when we get here, we got seed, and we got soil, and we got some rain, and we've got some what? Sunshine, and we've got some seasons, and what? The miracle of life. Now, the key is, what do you do with all this stuff? How do you turn all this stuff that's available here into equity and promise and lifestyle and dreams and future possibilities? All of this that's possible now with human beings, how do you take all this stuff and turn it into this equities and values? Well, it starts with philosophy. So each person's personal philosophy now is going to determine what you're going to do with seed and soil and sunshine and rain and miracle, the change of seasons. That's it. My personal opinion. Each person's personal philosophy is like the set of the sail. Here's the definition of success and failure. Just make this note. Here's failure. A few errors in judgment. Repeated every day. Now, you can automatically assume, Mr. Rohn, I say, I can understand that. A few errors in judgment repeated every day. For 6 years? Now, here's the formula for success. A few simple disciplines practiced every day. And you've started a whole new process called a whole new life. A few simple disciplines practiced every day. And if you decide today to go for the apple instead of the Hershey bar, I'm telling you, you have begun the process of turning your life around. Number one, we're affected by philosophy. First major of the 5 major pieces. Number 2 is attitude. We're affected by how we feel. First, we're affected by what we know and the decisions we make. Second, we're affected by attitude, how we feel. And I gave that quick list. Let me give it to you. It's how you feel about the past. You've got to have a good attitude about the past. Use it as a school, not a club. Don't beat yourself to death with your past. Faults, failures, losses. Let the past be a school. Harsh school, maybe. What else is new? Let the past be a school master to teach you. Not to threaten you, but to teach you. Okay. Next, it's how you feel about the future. Set your goals. We'll talk a little bit about that before we finish today. Goal setting. The promise of the future is an awesome force to affect your life every day. Without a future well designed, we take hesitant steps. And all you have to have is hesitant steps. For 6 years, you'll be timid, driven into a corner, not boldly willing to go and take your portion, take your share. Okay? Next, it's how you feel about everybody else. Got to have a good attitude about everybody else, because it takes everybody else to make a market. One person doesn't make a family. One person doesn't make a business. One person doesn't make a corporation. One person doesn't make a community. One person doesn't make a nation. It takes all of us to make a dynamic economy, a nation second to none. It takes all of us to make the churches and make the economy run. It takes all of us to make the possibilities. All the gifts that have flowed in here the last 200 years, unprecedented in 6,500 years of recorded history. There's been nothing like it. The ethnic streams that have flowed in here brought their gifts, brought their talent, brought their skills, brought their inventions, brought their work ethic. All of it mixed together is called America. Been nothing like it in 6,500 years. And to miss the value of it by some, warped attitude about it, I'm telling you, you've missed it all. And if you have an appreciation for it all, you'll draw from it. And if you draw from all the gifts that have been blended together here for 200 years, now for your value and benefit, think of what you can do for your days, for your business, for your conversation, for your equities. You can transform it to an incredible degree. And here's the last one. It's how you feel about yourself. Understanding self-worth is the beginning of progress. Self-worth should be easy. If one of us can do it, all of us can do it. If anybody can think it, we all can think it. I can read, you can read. I can understand, you can understand. From where I came from, the few simple things I did and tried revolutionized my life in 5 years. There isn't anybody here that can't do it. Change from pennies to fortune. Change from nothing to something. Change from broke to rich. Anybody in this room can do it. If any of us can do it, we all can do it. That's the kind of value you should place on yourself. If Jim Rohn can understand it, I can understand it. If he can read, I can read. If he can find it, I can find it. If he can change, I can change. If he can get it done, I can get it done. That's the attitude about yourself. So valuable. Okay? Now, in transforming our lives, we don't start with attitude. We don't start with the inspiration here. We start with education. Somebody says, well, I expected you just come get motivated today. Well, that probably won't do it. So we don't start with inspiration. We start with education. Somebody says, well, just motivate this guy. He'll be all right. Just motivate him. Get him turned on. Probably not. If a guy's an idiot, you motivate him. Now you got a motivated idiot. No, he won't be all right. So number 2 was attitude. Here was number 3, activity. This is the work part, the labor part. Taking action. And the activity is the miracle working piece. A miracle being something we don't quite understand how it works. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. It means we just don't quite understand how it works. Miracles work. God says. Now, I'm an amateur on God, but here's my best analysis. God says, if you'll plant the seed, I'll make the tree. Now, that's a good arrangement. Number one, gives God the tough end of the deal. Two, if you're willing to take these two qualities, philosophy and attitude, and invest it into activity, you can have a miracle. Anything short of that, no miracle. Wisdom doesn't perform a miracle. Attitude doesn't perform a miracle. The only thing that performs a miracle of increase called equity is called putting wisdom and attitude into discipline, into labor. And this labor now can perform a miracle. And here's the two parts to the labor. One, do what you can. Number two, do the best you can. Can't give you better advice than that. So, now here's the second part of the miracle. Number one is do what you can. Here's number two, do the best you can. If that's not your philosophy, I would ask you to amend it. Here was number 4. Results. Results. Every once in a while, you got to take a measure, see how you're doing with these 3 pieces: philosophy, attitude, activity. Now we take a measure called results. What is the results at the end of the day, the results at the end of the week? You can't let too much time go by without checking. Here's all life asks us to do: make measurable progress in reasonable time. Just take home that little phrase, good phrase. We're asked in life simply to make measurable progress in reasonable time. Equities unprecedented that you can have in numbers that will stagger the imagination if you do not curse what's available and start amending what's possible to get the results that you want. I don't think I can put it in any better language. That's it. Kids can do it. Teenagers can do it. Parents can do it. Managers can do it. Right? Government officials can do it. Anybody can do it. Anybody can do this stuff called personal change. Now here's the last one. Number 5 is called lifestyle. Lifestyle is simply learning how to live well. The last of the 5 major pieces. Here's the ultimate challenge of life. I've worked on this, you cannot believe how hard, since age 25. And that is, after applying better philosophy, attitude, and activity, and picking now up results. What are results for? Here's my ultimate challenge on results. To fashion, good word to jot down, fashion. Fashion for yourself lifestyle, or what we call the good life. That's the ultimate challenge. To take your results, take your money, take your results, take the return, take the equities you've gathered, and now fashion for yourself a good life, like weaving a tapestry.
So that's the video I wanted you to watch, and the full clip is there on YouTube. You can go and watch it. Somewhere you can search Jim Rohn best year ever, and you can watch the whole clip there. And it's an amazing clip, actually. An amazing seminar, 2 hours, I think it's 4 hours, but on the part of the 5 principles is about 2 hours. So he trains for 2 hours on these principles that we have just highlighted. So this was just a highlight. Now, the reason why this was very important to me is because it's not like there is anything new, but the importance he places on action, and says that the miracle is in the activity. Like when you start doing stuff, when you start putting your knowledge, when you start putting your effort into an activity, that's when you start seeing and realizing the miracles that you actually want. You want this good life, you want your business to succeed, you want all those things that you want without activity, without putting things, without having an action items that you're doing every single day. You can't have that. And the first principle that we are going to discuss here, as he said, was was philosophy. And I had to go to Google to check what philosophy means. And philosophy is a theory or attitude that acts as a guiding principle for behavior. And this made a lot of sense, because now he said philosophy, you gain philosophy through your daily life, through your experiences, through the learning that you do in school. You start forming a certain philosophy of your life. And philosophy, you might find philosophy in the phrases that we use. You know, there is YOLO, you only live once. That's a philosophy. There is another philosophy where, you know, where you're probably, you have a different philosophy. And on this one, he's quoting, let's say, an apple a day keeps the doctor away. That's a philosophy, you know. So there are phrases in our lives that we use that forces us to think a certain way, that forces us to have a certain behavior. So the first place we go is the philosophy that we've carried, or the philosophy that we've gathered over the years. So what is that philosophy that you have that is keeping you from your success? What's that philosophy that you have that is keeping you from acting, or the philosophy that you have that you know it, but you don't put it to practice? Like when you say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, is that a principle that you practice? And what if that is true and you don't do it, and now you are always on the doctors, right? Because there is a philosophy that is out there, there is a philosophy that you have, and that forces you to have a certain mindset, you know. So the knowledge that you have, either from the Bible, it could be something that you have from your religion, you know, that gives you a certain philosophy, that gives you a certain way of living, and you want to audit the philosophies that you have, and then come up with new philosophies that are based on truth, you know. The next thing you want to do is, when you're judging a certain philosophy that you've held, judge it from the point of truth, you know, from the point of the results that it can give you, not from it's good to have or something like that. Measure it, test it in terms of the truthfulness of that philosophy. So when you say an apple a day keeps the doctor away, is that true? Is that so? You know? And does that philosophy of eating well, because it's basically about health, is that philosophy of having good health, maintaining a good body weight and things like that, is that a good philosophy to have in life? And if it's good, then why don't you do it? You know, why are you not doing it? So you have all those philosophies about business, but you don't do anything about them. They are just phrases that you have in your head and you never actualize them. The other thing is, we have other types of philosophies that we have, the phrases, you only live once, you know, those type of philosophies that we have. How is that forcing you or making you take life? How serious are you taking life? Because life is serious. You have to take life seriously. Life is a matter of life and death. Now, that's a philosophy that I came up with, you know. And I said, you know what? Life, for me, life is a matter of life and death. The decisions I make, I have to make them as if it's a matter of life and death. There's no, and once you start looking at things, the decisions you are making as a matter of life and death, then you start taking them very, very seriously, you know, because so many people take things lightly, you know. So you know that you can either, you have a choice. People have choices, and there is a difference between a choice and a decision. You know, a choice means you have several things that you can choose from. A decision means you have made up your mind and there is no going back. There is no choice. When you make a decision, there is no choice. That's the thing you're going for. Whether it works or not, that's what you're going for. So it's very important to understand those type of philosophies that you've held in your life, or the philosophies that are pushing you. And for me, those are some of the philosophies that have really helped me. First thing I said was, no, I'm going to take life seriously. I'm going to take life as a matter of life and death, you know? And that's something that I usually say. Life is a matter of life and death. Any decision that I make it as if I didn't do it, if I didn't make that decision, it's either death or life, you know? Then the other thing you want to know is decision making, you know? Are you taking the decision or the choices, you know, are you taking your life as a choice? You know, there are so many choices. And remember what I said in my previous video. You can go watch it on my previous live. I said when you have multiplicity of choices, there is inaction. So in multiplicity of choices, there lies inaction, you know? So what you want to do is to remove the choices and start making decisions. And the only way that you're going to move forward and to have a better life is when you have a better you, and it's when you start making better decisions, you know? Better decisions, not choices, better decisions. When you make a decision, there is no, you know, making 2 steps forward and realizing, oh, this thing wasn't worthy, let me change. You know, there's no changing. Once you make that decision, you've made that decision, you're going with it to the end, you know? So that is one of the most important philosophies that myself I had to use to ensure that the decisions in terms of business that I'm making, they are decisions that bind me, you know? When I say I'm going to start working online, if it fails, it's going to fail, and I'm going to, you know, people are going to see me fail, you know? And this is something that I've shared previously on other forums, where I say, for me, I want to be either a model of success, a way people can model that success and become as successful, something to be admired, or something that will be loathed and something that people are not going to want to be like, you know, something that people are going to see as a warning. When they look at me, they need to say, you don't want to be like that guy, you know? He started off just the same way you are starting off. He made those decisions you're making, and look where he ended up, you know? I want to be a good warning if I have to be a warning. I want to be a good model if I have to be a good model. And the only way you do that is by making very clear choices. And once you make those choices, understand. I usually tell people, understand the business that you want to start, understand the career that you want to get into. And now, because the greatest thing that, you know, hold people back from success is fear, then I want you to list down all the bad things that could happen because you made that decision. You know, list all the bad outcomes that can come from you making that decision. And then I want you to look at that list and say, it's okay. You know, if all these things befell me, then I'll be okay with it, you know? And once you remove the fear of failure, then you're ready for success. The greatest challenge we have, and the greatest challenge that you will have in 2024, will be your fear of failure. If you fear failure, if you fear being poor, if you fear being, you know, called names, and all those other bad things that you can have, then you will never get the success that you want, because that fear is always there. You know, you will have anxiety. That fear will cause you to have anxiety. It will cause you to be very inactive. It will cause you to have plan A, plan B, plan C, because you are fearing plan A might not work, you know. But when you remove that fear, look at all the bad things that could happen to you for deciding to do something. Look at that list and say, I'm okay with all these bad things happening to me for making this decision. Then you're now set to success. You're now set on the path of success, where there is nothing that will come your way that would derail you, that will, you know, force you to make a different decision. And at that point, success will follow. You know, it starts with that decision that you make. So very important. Look back at the philosophies. Look at back at the phrases that you've used in your life that have caused you to be where you are. You know, to see life the way you see it. You know, look at all those things, audit them, know the philosophies that you need to drop, pick up new philosophies. You know, and the philosophy you can get all those. The philosophy of your life, you can get it from books, you can get it from the Bible, you can get it from your religion, you can get it from, you know, anywhere, maybe a conversation with a friend or anything. You can change your philosophy, and that is the place where you start. And this is one of the, in terms of philosophy, this is where you start seeing the way people think, even with the things that they talk about, you know. When they are talking about why they are not successful, the reasons why they are not successful, nobody ever thinks that their philosophy could be the source of their failure. But in most cases, in all cases, your philosophy determines your life. It determines whether you succeed or you fail. It all starts with your philosophy. If your philosophy is to blame everybody else and you know, and claim that, you know, it's external forces that actually are causing you to be where you are, that's a philosophy that you've held in life, and that is the start of your failure. That's the start of your life. The life you're having now starts from or emanates from that point. Now, another thing you want to have as a philosophy is to know that there are two factors that affect your life. They are contributing factors and they are determining factors. Now, don't confuse the determining factors as the contributing factors as the factors that are causing your life to be the way it is. Now, your life is the way it is because of the determining factors. And determining factors are not out there. The determining factor of your life is you. You're the determining factor. The knowledge you have, the personality you have, the attitude you have, the skills you have, your understanding of life, those are the determining factors, and those are the ones determining the way your life is. Contributing factors, you know, are other people, you know, your bad government, economy, harsh economic times. There is all those other contributing factors, even the environment and your neighbors and all those other things. Those are contributing factors, but they're not the determining factors. So don't confuse contributing factors and determining factors in your life. Understand them. Understand what is the determining factor in your life, and the determining factor in your life is you. And it's only when you change that your life will change. Okay. So that is important. Philosophy, it's at the heart of it. Understanding that your philosophy about life how you take life to be, that would be your first road, or the start of your road to success, basically. So consider that. Consider your philosophy as the starting point to your greatness. Okay. Now, in terms of philosophy, this is what Jim Rohn said, and this was profound. When I first heard this, it was so profound, that failure is a few errors in judgment repeated every day. So you want to go back to your life and look at what are the few errors in judgment that I'm making. You know, few errors in judgment, they are so subtle that you don't even realize, you know. So you're making few errors in judgment, you're making them every day, and eventually you'll have gone so far after 5 years, you have gone so far off your target that you're wondering, how did I get here? But it was just few errors in judgment. So if you could take an apple a day and you don't, you start, you know, eating whatever it is that you want to eat, and after 3, 4, 5 years, you're overweight, your blood pressure is high, and everything else, you know, your sugar levels are high, you're overweight, unahema kila pahali. Now you start wondering what happened, but it was just few errors in judgment that you've repeated every day for 6 years, and now you have landed where you've landed. The only way to change your life is to now have this formula for success, you know. And this is the formula for success, that the formula for success is a few simple discipline practiced every day. So you want to identify the simple disciplines that you can have, simple things, simple actions that you can do, you know, and this will relieve you of a lot of stress that people have, you know, stress, depression, and all those type of things. They come because you haven't identified the few disciplines that you have to start doing to change your life. And people want quick results. It is not about quick results. It's about taking few simple disciplines. So if it's jogging, if it's walking, if it's going to the gym, you know, you start doing that every day, and then you'll have a change in your health. You know, if it's business, you start developing yourself in terms of the books you read, you start developing yourself in terms of the content you watch, you know. That way you're going to change, you're going to ensure that the few disciplines that you're taking, the books you're reading, the videos you're watching, start now taking effect in your life. You start taking a different trajectory because of the information that you're gathering, and eventually you're going to succeed. You know, with time you're going to succeed. So one other thing that is causing people to be depressed is wanting results right now. You know, they're not waiting, they're not patient enough for the results to show. And because you have choices, instead of making decisions, you make choices. So you are always have another choice, you know. If you could marry this or this other guy, and then you choose this one guy, it's very easy for you to get out of that marriage because you're thinking you are making a choice. But when you make a decision, there is no going back. There is nothing to go back to, you know. So it's very important that we understand those simple disciplines that you have to start utilizing or doing in your life. What are those simple disciplines? Is it going for a seminar? You know, is it reading a book? You know, how many books have you read to improve yourself over that year, 1 year? You know, how many seminars have you attended to improve yourself in that area that you want improvement? So if you want to grow your business, how many seminars about business growth have you attended? You know, how many courses have you taken about improving your business? How many books have you read about improving your business, if that's what you want? So the only thing that I'm asking you to do next year is to identify, this is an area of my life I want to do to grow my business. If growing your business is what you want, then start taking courses on growth, business growth. Get a mentor on business growth. Start attending seminars on business growth, you know. Start implementing the things you learn on business growth one by one, and by the end of that year you will have made a difference, you know. So this is about, it's about identifying the simple disciplines that you can do and actually utilize, or using them, utilizing, taking action, you know. So identify the simple disciplines that you need to get started, and action on them, you know. So the other thing is that the road to success starts with personal change. So if you want to change, and this is what I started with, you know, if you want a better year, you don't need a better job, you don't need a better, you know, environment, you don't need a better government, you don't need another president, you don't need taxes to be reduced or anything. That's not what you need. The only thing you need is a better you. So the moment you improve yourself is the moment you start seeing different results. So it starts with personal change. So the second principle that you want to consider there is your attitude about your past. And the past is something that has really held so many people. And now people coming out talking about childhood trauma and all those type of things. And they are the things that have really held them back in their success. And they are stressed, they are depressed. You know, you have made strides in your life, but your past is holding you back. You want to have a very good attitude about your past. You have gone through the past that you have gone through, and that is yours. Those are your scars. Embrace them, you know, embrace them. Let your past be your school, you know, not a camping site, you know, where you stay, but rather be your school, where you get learnings from, where you get lessons from, and then move forward, okay? So the other thing you want to have a good attitude about is the people around you. So you want to have a very good attitude about people around you. And you also want to have very good attitude about yourself. Because so many people, you know, hate people around them. You hate your father, you hate your mother, you like hate your family members. And then that is showing out, you know, every time you speak, there is that pain. But what you really want is to have a good attitude about the people around you. You want to have a good attitude about the government, good attitude about the economy, because that's the only time that you're going to start seeing opportunities that lie in those people, the opportunities that lie in those circumstances, and everything that is around you. You're going to start seeing opportunities that you can pick, you know, and run away with. But when you know exactly the people you need to blame, and you have a very bad attitude about the people around you, you will never see opportunities to collaborate. You'll never see opportunities to grow together. You will only find people that you need to step on to get to your next level. So have a good attitude about people around you. The next thing is have good attitude about yourself. You know your self-worth. And this is also something that I discussed last time, where I said, start taking advantage of yourself. Understand who you are, understand what you can do, understand your self-worth, and now start taking advantage of yourself, because everybody else is taking advantage of you, you know. So that's another thing that you want to be happy about. And if you're not happy about anything, the best thing is that you can really change a lot of things about you, you know. And if it's something that you can change, let's say probably you are an amputee, you don't have legs, or you are short, or you're tall. You can't change that. That's what you have. That's what you've been given. This is now where we go back to your philosophy, of the things that you've been given, of the things that you can't really change. Do you really need to dwell on them? You don't need to dwell on things that you can't change. That's getting yourself into depression for no reason. You're going to start being anxious, feeling sorry for yourself. You start feeling bad about yourself for no good reason, because you're focusing your attention on the wrong things, the things that you can't change. So if you can change something, it's not worth thinking about. Don't occupy your mind with things that you can't change. Occupy your mind with the things that you can change. And once you occupy your mind with the things that you can change, come up with strategies that can actually change your circumstances, So it's about the things that you can change. If something you can change, just leave it, leave that alone. So understanding and appreciating your self-worth is important. That will be one way that you're going to get success in the coming year. And this all goes to your attitude. It's attitude about yourself, it's attitude about other people, and it's attitude about your past. If you have good attitude about your past, good attitude about yourself, good attitude about other people, you will be destined for greatness in the coming year, because you will be able to find opportunities for growth, opportunities for collaboration, opportunities for improvement within yourself. So the next thing is having that having a good attitude really doesn't start by affirmations and motivation. If you have an idiot and you motivate an idiot, you're only going to get a motivated idiot. And this is a phrase or a quote from Jim Rohn. If you have an idiot and you motivate an idiot, you're only going to have a motivated idiot. So the first rule to changing is not motivation, it's not inspiration, it's not affirmations, it's actually learning. Your first step to success is not inspiration, is not motivation, it's not affirmations, it's learning. The fact, once you start learning new things, once you start learning ways that you can improve yourself, even if you get motivated, at least now we are motivating somebody who can do something, somebody who's educated, on something. So make sure that your first thing is to get learning. If you do nothing else, get understanding. I think that's the Bible says, there is it the three things: wisdom, there is knowledge, and there is understanding. So you want to invest in understanding. The only way you understand is if you have knowledge. So the first thing you want is to have knowledge. You can't have wisdom if you don't have knowledge. So first, know. Then, have an understanding of what you know. And then you can use that knowledge with that understanding. Then you can apply it. And that now where wisdom comes in, is in the application of the knowledge that you have. That's where now you get the wisdom. You'll be saying this is such a wise guy, but basically what you're doing is using your knowledge and understanding to do stuff, to make decisions, to create strategies, to create content, to be creative and come up with different types of content and to create a business, to run a business that is successful. You're only using wisdom because you've learned something. And I think this is one of the greatest challenges that we have currently, is that we have so many motivated idiots. We have so many motivated, stupid people, you know, like you're stupid, but you're so motivated to do stuff. Now you're going out there doing it. But what you're doing, the type of content probably you're producing, we are like, what is this, you know? Yes, because you are motivated and you know, if I can only do that, you know, I'm the best. You have those affirmation, I'm the best. I can do all things, you know, you can do all things, but with that type of motivation going forward and without knowledge, without understanding, you're going out there without an education, then you find yourself doing very stupid thing. You are very motivated doing very stupid thing, you know. You're very motivated generating content, like every day you're producing 50 pieces of content, but the type of content really you're producing is not that good, you know. It's not that it's not good, but it's the influence is not good, you know. You're influencing people to do other things, and it's not something that probably you want to produce. And probably after 1 or 2 years, you start finding that the content you produced wasn't the type of content that you wanted to produce. You know, you have gained a million followers, and now you're having depression because what getting a million followers did, or whatever you've become, is not something that you're comfortable with. And this is taking people into depression because you became somebody, you have this fake life probably, you have shown people a certain personality that is not you. You're not comfortable with that personality, with the life that you're living. But because now you went out there without knowledge, you're stuck, you know, you feel stuck. And the only way you get out of there is to first understand that the first step to success is not through motivation, is not affirmation, is not, you know, it's not inspiration, is actually learning. So start learning, start building out something that you can do, and you will actually get the success that you want. So let's see this video one more time.
I boiled it down to 5 major pieces to the life puzzle. Let's just review those. Number 1 is philosophy. Philosophy, as I taught the last time I was here, philosophy, in my personal opinion, is the major determining factor in how your life works out. To form our philosophy, you got to think. You've got to use your mind. You've got to process ideas. And this whole process over a lifetime, starting way back here when we were children, schools that we've attended, our parents, our experiences, all this stuff that we've processed by the thinking process helps to develop our philosophy. And in my opinion, each person's personal philosophy is the major factor in how your life works out. Here's what's exciting about each person's personal philosophy. That's what makes us different than dogs and animals and birds and cats and spiders and alligators.
So sorry, I was muted there. So one of the things that you want to do there is the third thing is activity. So the only way you get successful is through activity. There is no any other way. You know, you can learn all you want, you can feel all you want, but that doesn't give you the right to your success. The only thing that gives you success is activity. What is it that you're doing? So what I want you to do next year is to come up with a list of activities that you're going to do. So whether it's improving, like we just said, if it's improving your business, then come up with activities. How many books do you want to read, in building business? How many seminars do you need to attend, And I believe, if you want to grow your business and you don't know how, then you read as many books as it takes for you to get what you want, or what you need to know to get started, If it's about seminars, understand I need to go to as many seminars as I want or as I need to get the success that I'm looking for, So those are the things that you want to establish for yourself. And don't mistake motion with progress. Don't mistake being busy with progress, because so many people think that they're so busy, they are moving here and there, and they think that that's progress. You can be moving in circles, you're not moving anywhere. So understand what makes up progress, and progress is measurable. You need to be able to measure success, and we are going to talk about that in the next principle. So one of the greatest quote that I've had in terms of activity and what you need to do is that do what you can the best you can, So establish, what is it that you have in your hands? What is it that you can do? Start from there. Start with the things that you can do. And then with those things that you can do them the best way that you can. And that way you're going to be set onto the road to your success. And next year will probably be the best year ever. So whatever your hands finds to do, do it with all your might, do it excellently. And even if it's that small thing that you're doing, do it so that it can give you either the resources or the time you require to move on to the next level. And I think one of those videos we are going to talk about levels of value, so that you can know you can start from one level of value, get the money you want, or get the resources that you want to take you to the next level of value, and you move on to those levels of value up to the top, where you can now imagine and drive things through creativity. So the fourth thing you want there is results, and this is now where your activity is measured. So without measuring your activity, or if your activities are not giving you the results that you want, you really are the person who's confusing motion with progress. For whatever activity that you set out to do, have it measured. How many pieces of content do you need to produce every day? Have it measured. How many things do you want to do every day? Have it measured, right? And that, I think, is going to help you succeed. So it's very important that you understand those things, understand the results that you want. The next thing, if you have a problem you need to resolve, consider taking note of the books, courses, seminars, mentors that you have that you can acquire to help you resolve the challenges that you're facing. And with the challenges that people are facing, you find yourself depressed and all that, and it's because you're just thinking about things that you can't really change. You don't have the reason why people get depressed is because they are thinking about things that they can't really change. You're either thinking about your past that you can't change, you're thinking about the future that you can't change, instead of thinking about the present that you can actually change. Yeah, I'm back. So if you have a problem that you want resolved, if you have a problem, consider the books that you need to read, consider the courses that you need to take, consider seminars that you need to take, or even mentors that you need to have to help you with that problem. Usikufe na shida zako. So the next thing that you want to understand is that the results will reflect your philosophy, your attitude, and the activities that you've been involved in. So if right now you have not achieved what you set out to achieve, that tells us something about your philosophy. It tells us something about your attitude. It tells us something about the activities that you've been involved in, you know? So if like right now, I set out to do 20 pieces of content every day, and I don't do even a single one, that means I have a philosophy that is preventing me from achieving that. You know, I have a mindset that 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 is not conducive to what I want. I have an attitude that is not that important, you know. It's not a matter of life and death, or I do it, you know. I have you can also know the activities that I've been involved in or have not been involved in. I've not been involved in the activities that generate content, you know. So the result is the culmination of your life. It's the culmination of what you do, you know, who you are. It shows in the results that you get. So the other thing is there's a dog barking. Cha kwanza tungoje mbwa imalize kupiga kelele. Challenges za live, but no problem. Huh? So there's a dog barking. Just waiting for it to stop. Wiki man. So this is a very interesting quote, you know. Life is all about making measurable progress in reasonable time. And I saw this ad sometime back, you know, where this guy comes with uniform. I think it was it's a school uniform company that was advertising, and this guy from Form 1, the teacher comes, finds this guy. He's calling. He's like he's asking him questions, and then the phrase is, the guy says he's in Form 1, like he's anapatwa akiwa Form 1, so he's found in the Form 1 classes, and the teacher is very mad that this Form 4 guy is in Form 1 class, and the guy says he's in Form 1. So the teacher asks, how many years have you been in Form 1? You know, because time has taken its toll on the sweater that he was wearing, right? So it was faded and everything. You don't expect a Form 1 to have a faded sweater or something like that, you know. So he was being asked, how many years have you been in Form 1? And that was just a fun comment that came to mind when I first heard this quote. You know, life is all about making measurable progress in reasonable time. The question is, how would you allow, if you have a kid or even you yourself, how long would you allow yourself to be in Form 1? Let's say, you know, you're only allowed to be there for 1 year. If we find you 4 years later, you're still in Form 1, we're asking what's happening here. You guy, you're supposed to have moved on, you know? And that's life. You have to make measurable progress in reasonable time. You can't be at one place forever. You cannot be like something that was hindering you last year is still hindering you this year. You know, those prayer requests that are always constant. You know, your prayer request in 2020 is the same prayer request in 2021. There's a problem. There's something that you're not doing, you know, there's something that you're not doing right. If you prayed for something in 2023 and this next year it will be still part of your prayer request, there is something that you're not doing right. And you need to go back to your philosophy, go back to your attitude, go back to your activities that you're involved in, go back to the results, you know, go back to the results. And now you can measure, you know, we can measure and see. Now, you guys, you've been praying for financial breakthrough for the longest time. How long do you want to get, like, to pray for this before you get started on activities that actually produce the results that you want? You know, because I can guarantee you, you can pray all you want, you can fast all you want, but you will never get different results if you don't start doing different things. The miracle is in the activities. Faith without action is dead. So it's about activity, my friend. It's about the activity that you get involved in. If you're praying for financial breakthrough and you're not, enlightening yourself about financial freedom, you haven't attended a single course on financial freedom, you haven't read a single book on financial progress, financial management. If you're employed, you haven't even talked to a financial guy, probably, you know, financial advisor and people like that. You haven't talked to them and you want financial freedom and you are employed somewhere, there is a problem there, you know. So you need to start pray and start doing something different. And the first thing we said is not about motivation, it's not inspiration, it's not about affirmations, it's about learning. So first thing, start learning. That would be your best first step. Is pick a book, read about, go read Rich Dad Poor Dad, go read The Richest Man in Babylon, you know, go read that to get out of the financial mess that you're in. If it's about business, learn about marketing your business, learn about the systems that you need to establish in your business to make it work. If you want to start generating sales online, start learning the systems that you need. And this, I would say, start learning the SMT framework. The SMT framework, that's a framework that I train on, and it helps you, set up the systems in your business that actually help you generate sales and leads online. So it's about you taking action. It's about you learning something that is actually working for others. And if it's working for them, why should it not work for you? It's just that you don't know it, and you haven't, or probably you know it, and then instead of you trying to understand the knowledge that you have, understand the problem that you have, and now use wisdom in execution, you're trying to copy paste solutions. You can't copy paste solutions. There is always something different about you, and you want to customize solutions for you. I can teach you something, but it's for you to go customize that, what you've learned from me, customize it for your specific situation. I've seen people taking information straight and trying to implement it, and then it fails, and then they blame the person that showed them the information or gave them the information, and you start calling them scammers and everything. But that person only gave you information. It's for you to use your wisdom and see how it works for you. It's for you to think. People are afraid to think. So go ahead and think. And you can't think if you don't have new knowledge, Hiyo ni kuchanganya matope, man. Yeah. So get new knowledge, think, come up with your own solutions with the new knowledge that you've acquired. Come up with your own solutions for your specific problems, and then now act on those solutions that you have identified, or the decisions that you have identified. Act on those decisions, knowing that these are my decisions. I will succeed or fail on these decisions that I've made, and own up to your own decisions. So that is very important. It's important to understand that success is a numbers game. So if you are to have 20 sales a month and you make only 2 sales a month, my friend, you're failing. There is no amount of motivation that is going to get you out of that unless you learn something new about sales. Probably learn something about sales, learn something about marketing, learn something about digital marketing, learn something to start generating the sales that you want. So set your goals, understand that it's about the activities, and then go after those activities and get the results that you require, And the last pillar is lifestyle. So lifestyle is something that have really driven people into depression. And you can see this is the last part. There is a reason why this is the last principle. It's because you must have a good philosophy. You must have a good attitude about people, attitude about your past, attitude about yourself. You must have good attitude. Then you must have set the activities that you need to do, set the right activities that you're going to do, and understand that once you set the activities that you need to do to achieve the success that you want, those activities will define you. Because we said philosophy is a way of life that governs behavior. So once you have a good philosophy, you're going to get a good attitude, you're going to have good activities, and then have the results. And then it's with the results, it's with the wealth that you've created, it's with the assets that you've created that you can now build the lifestyle that you want. Now, so many people are getting into depression because they are living a lifestyle that they cannot sustain. And people get into depression because people out here think you are making millions when there is nothing in the bank, you are showing off, trying to show this type of lifestyle that is not really yours. Or in another way, it could be that you have made all this amount of money and your lifestyle haven't grown, to match your asset, to match your income. All these are problems that you face, and they start affecting you. They start affecting your mental status. So it's very important to understand and to learn how to live a good lifestyle, a lifestyle that you can sustain. And the only way, if you are there, you're struggling with a fake lifestyle, and now it's getting you into depression because people think you're making more money than you actually are making, and you need to sustain a certain lifestyle that you can't afford. Things that you need to look into your philosophy. What's your philosophy about lifestyle, about life? That's a philosophy that has driven you to that type of lifestyle. So look at the philosophy. Look at the phrases that you're using in your conversation. Are you saying, YOLO, you only live once, let me spend what I have, Are you using phrases like fake it till you make it, What is your philosophy of life that have led you to this, Because it's in that philosophy that have led you to make decisions about the attitude that you have about your past. Probably you're trying to hide a past, you're trying to hide, you have a certain attitude about your past, you have a certain attitude about yourself. Probably don't love the way you look or anything, you probably have a certain attitude about the people, go back and look into those things. And remember, there is nobody to blame. You have the life that you have. You know, you have the father that you have the parents that you have the mother that you have. There's no changing that. The only thing you can do is changing you, you know. So it's until you become better that you're going to be better, you know. So understand, go back to the attitude that you have about people, about your past, and about yourself, you know. Deal with that, you know. Then deal with the activities that you're involving yourself in, you know. What are the activities that you're involving yourself in? Are you involving yourself in activities that are draining you or generating an income for you, you know? So think about all those areas and then look at the results. What are the results? What are my metrics, you know, that I'm using to measure my success? So if it's about how many deals that have I made this month, then go for the deals. Become the person that people are willing to make deals with, you know? So look at that, build the lifestyle that you want, and at that point, you will have a good life. You will have a good lifestyle, you know? And by the end of 2024, we'll be here reviewing our year and saying, yes, I have changed who I am, and I've been able to make a difference in my life. Because if you don't change you, nothing will change. The government will probably be the same. The economy will be the same. Probably there will be famine now coming, or probably more rain, you know. Something will be happening. And the only way you overcome stuff that are happening to you, the only way you overcome the contributing factors is by understanding the determining factors and you know, improving on them. You know, improve on the determining factors, improve on yourself, and you're going to improve every other aspect of your life. So thank you very much for tuning in up to this point. I really appreciate that. Make sure that you like, comment, and share this video. Yeah, and that's how we continue. See you on Monday live. Thank you very much.